Welcome, my fellow mutants, to a tale as old as time, or at least as old as the X-Men comics. We are here to explore the deep and complex relationship between two stepbrothers, one with the power of unstoppable force, and the other with the power of telepathy. That is right, we are talking about Juggernaut and Professor X, and their relationship that is more complicated than a mutant genealogy chart. On the surface, Cain Marko, alias Juggernaut, and Charles Xavier, alias Professor X, seem like polar opposites. One is a towering behemoth of a man, with the power to bulldoze through anything in his path. The other is a cerebral, wheelchair-bound academic who has dedicated his life to fighting for mutant rights. But beneath the surface, their bond runs deep, and it is far from simple. For starters, there is the fact that Cain and Charles are stepbrothers. Then there is the matter of Juggernaut's powers, specifically, the fact that they are fueled by a mystical force known as the Crimson Gem of Sidorak. This makes him virtually invincible and puts him at odds with Xavier's peaceful approach to conflict resolution. It is a clash of ideologies that has led to some of the most epic battles in X-Men history. So buckle up, folks, because this is going to be a ride as bumpy as Juggernaut's helmet. We will be delving into the depths of their brotherly bond, uncovering the secrets, betrayals, and everything in between. It is a journey that is sure to be as complex and multifaceted as the two men at its center. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Exploring the origins of a strange brotherhood between Professor X and Juggernaut. It is not every day that you come across a bond as strange and complicated as the one between Professor X and Juggernaut. It is like trying to understand the relationship dynamics of Ross and Rachel from Friends, but on a much larger and more mutant-filled scale. Let us take a walk down memory lane, shall we? Charles Xavier and Cain Marko were stepbrothers, which already sets the scene for some family drama. To make matters worse, Cain's father was abusive towards him, which led to a lot of pent-up anger and resentment toward the world. Enter Charles, who is just trying to live his best life as a telepathic mutant and, run a school for gifted youngsters. Unfortunately for him, Cain saw Charles as an easy target for his anger and bullied him relentlessly. Charles, being the empathetic and understanding person that he is, accidentally read Cain's mind and saw the horrific abuse he had been enduring. Now, most people would sympathize with someone who had undergone such trauma, but Cain was understandably upset about having his mind invaded without permission. The two had a falling out, and their relationship remained rocky for years to come. Fast forward to the present day, and Juggernaut has got superhuman strength, endurance, and a helmet that protects him from Charles's pesky telepathy. Even though he is not technically a mutant, the Quiet Council of Krakoa decided to grant him citizenship and make him a member of Nightcrawler's Legionnaires. This decision did not sit well with Charles, who had some reservations about bringing Juggernaut into the fold. I mean, can you blame him? The guy did bully him as a child, and has been a thorn in the X-Men's side for years. It is a complicated relationship, to say the least. On the one hand, Juggernaut has been a thorn in Charles' side for years, and has caused a lot of trouble for the X-Men. On the other hand, he is also a victim of abuse, and someone who could use a little compassion and understanding. The real reason behind the complicated relationship between the brothers. Prepare yourselves, dear viewers, for the unveiling of the true catalyst behind one of the most enduring rivalries in the world of X-Men comics. Why, oh why, does Juggernaut harbor such deep-seated hatred for his stepbrother, the illustrious Professor X? The tangled web of their relationship stretches back to a secret mutant war that Professor X's parents found themselves embroiled in at the Alamogordo facility in New Mexico. But it was after Cain Marko, aka Juggernaut, acquired his immense power as Sidorak's avatar that things truly took a turn for the worse. With a burning desire to annihilate his stepbrother, Juggernaut became one of the X-Men's earliest and most menacing adversaries, launching relentless assaults on Xavier's school for gifted youngsters. But fear not, my curious friends, for Legion of X issue number 3, penned by the brilliant Cy Spurrier and illustrated by Jan Bazaldua, sheds light on the true essence of Juggernaut's animosity towards Professor X. It seems our hawking antagonist, much like many bullies, harbors an unfathomable fear of weakness. Despite his challenging physical strength, Juggernaut is acutely aware of the vulnerability that resides within his mind, and so Sidorak bestowed upon him a helmet to nullify psychic attacks, which granted him the precious reassurance that he would be shielded from Professor X's potent powers. The frailty of the human psyche. With this revelation, it becomes abundantly clear why Juggernaut is unable to resist the siren call of challenging his stepbrother time and time again. It is his fear, deeply rooted and all-consuming, that drives him to face the one who possesses the ability to expose his weaknesses and exploit his mind. And let us not forget the fear that Professor X instills in Juggernaut's heart. Countless battles have witnessed the X-Men successfully dislodging Juggernaut's protective helmet, leaving him vulnerable to the full brunt of Professor X's telepathic assaults. And who can overlook the infamous Onslaught incident, where Professor X, consumed by darkness, singled out Juggernaut as his primary target, leaving him in a comatose state and fleeing in sheer panic upon awakening. Cy Spurrier, a masterful wordsmith in Marvel's realm, possesses a keen understanding of character dynamics. Through Legion of X issue number 3, he gracefully unveils the true origin of this rivalry that has spanned the pages of Marvel Comics since the 1960s. The revelation perfectly aligns with the intricate histories of both Juggernaut and Professor X, in a delicious twist of irony. It suggests that these two intimidating beings are far more alike than they would ever care to admit, secretly reveling in the power they possess. After all, even Professor X has succumbed to the irresistible urge to confront Juggernaut, each clash only serving to deepen the bitterness of their rivalry. But fear not, my fellow enthusiasts, for with the arrival of the X-Men's Krakoan age, a glimmer of hope emerges. Perhaps, just perhaps, Juggernaut and Professor X will transcend their bitter feud and embrace the potential for growth and unity. Only time will reveal the fate of this tumultuous relationship as they navigate the treacherous waters of family ties and buried resentment. Comparing the powers and abilities of the two. In the world of superheroes, there are few rivalries as intriguing as the clash between the unstoppable force and the immovable mind. So, let us delve into the powers and abilities of the two great characters, Juggernaut and Professor X, and explore how they stack up against each other in their own unique ways. First up, we have the Juggernaut, also known as Cain Marko. His powers stem from his connection to the Crimson Bands of Cyttorak, which he bonded with after losing the Gem of Cyttorak. The Juggernaut is a living embodiment of an irresistible power and possesses superhuman strength and stamina that make him an overwhelming powerhouse. With his specialized armor, he can summon the might of Cyttorak at will, becoming an indomitable force of nature. When it comes to combat, the Juggernaut relies on his military background and street fighting techniques. His immense strength allows him to unleash devastating blows, and he revels in the raw power he wields. However, he does have some weaknesses. Exceedingly high levels of mental and mystical attacks can harm him, and he is vulnerable to halting his movement or being put in situations where he can't leverage his strength effectively. Still, the Juggernaut remains a powerful opponent, as long as he plays by Cyttorak's rules. Now, let us turn our attention to Professor X, the renowned telepath and mutant leader. With the most powerful brain in existence, Charles Xavier possesses an array of mind-boggling psionic powers. His telepathy allows him to read minds, project thoughts, and create telepathic illusions that could deceive even the most astute individuals. Xavier's telepathic cloak makes him undetectable to others, while his mind link establishes deep connections with those around him. But that is not all. Professor X can manipulate minds, control them, and even possess the bodies of others. His mental alteration abilities can reshape memories or induce amnesia, which makes him a master manipulator when needed. Additionally, he can project powerful psionic blasts and create psychic shields for protection. Xavier's vast intelligence and expertise in genetics, mutation, and psionics further enhance his abilities and makes him a worthy opponent even to the toughest of superheroes. Although he has his fair share of weaknesses, which include a dark side and vulnerability to Magneto's helmet, Professor X remains an unparalleled telepathic force. His ability to transfer his mind and powers into other host bodies, absorb information rapidly, and even teach languages telepathically sets him apart as a truly unique and versatile mutant. Now, comparing these two powerhouses is no easy task. They operate on completely different planes, with the Juggernaut relying on brute strength and the Professor harnessing the power of the mind. It is like comparing an immovable object to an overpowering force. Both are awe-inspiring in their own right. While the Juggernaut's physical might is unmatched, Professor X's telepathic abilities give him a different kind of dominance. He can infiltrate the minds of his adversaries, manipulate their thoughts, and turn their own weaknesses against them. In a battle of brawn versus brains, it is a clash of powers that transcends simple comparisons. In the end, the Juggernaut and Professor X remind us that diversity is what makes the superhero universe so captivating. Whether it is raw strength or unparalleled mental prowess, their powers captivate our imagination and keep us eagerly awaiting the next clash of titans. So, let the battle of the minds and the clash between two immensely powerful beings continue, as the Juggernaut and Professor X remain as captivating and enigmatic as ever, leaving us in awe of their powers and abilities. Who is stronger between the two, Professor X or Juggernaut? Ah, the internal debate. Who is stronger, Professor X or Juggernaut? It is a question that has fueled many passionate discussions among comic book enthusiasts. On one side, we have the indomitable Juggernaut, a physical powerhouse fueled by the power of Cyttorak. And on the other side, we have the great Professor X, a telepathic genius with the most powerful brain in existence. Let us dive into their contentious relationship and see if we can settle this debate once and for all. Thanks to his connection with the dark god Cyttorak, Juggernaut is someone that people are afraid of. He has got superhuman strength that could give the Hulk a run for his money. Imagine the size of the dumbbells this guy must lift at the gym. But wait, there is a catch. And we have already seen in this video, his Achilles heel is telepathy. That is right. Juggernaut's inescapable physique crumbles in the face of a powerful mind. Now, let us shift our focus to Professor X, the leader of the X-Men and the ultimate telepathic mastermind. This guy's brain could put the world's most advanced supercomputers to shame. All of his telepathic abilities that we have explored in this video make him a dangerous opponent. He can make you believe you are sipping a margarita on a tropical beach when you are actually stuck in a traffic jam. Talk about mind over matter. When it comes to Juggernaut's beef with Xavier, things get even more interesting. The X-Men have had their fair share of battles against their not-so-friendly neighborhood Juggernaut. And what is their strategy? They go straight for his helmet. You see, that helmet makes Juggernaut invulnerable to telepathy. It is like wearing noise-canceling headphones to block out your annoying neighbor's terrible taste in music. But the X-Men are a crafty bunch. They have managed to remove that helmet on multiple occasions, which allowed Professor X to step in and shut Juggernaut down with a swift mental knockout. So, who is stronger between the two? Well, it is clear that Juggernaut's raw physical power is a sight to behold. He has smashed through walls, leveled cities, and knocked the Hulk flat on his green behind. But when it comes to a battle of minds, Professor X takes the cake. With his telepathic abilities, he can outmaneuver Juggernaut and bring him to his knees. Figuratively speaking, of course. But let us also not forget that these two are more than just their powers. They are complex characters with rich histories and intricate relationships. Their clashes are about more than just strength. They embody the eternal struggle between physical might and mental prowess. So, who comes out on top? It is a tough call. On the one hand, the Juggernaut has immense physical power and is unbeatable by a lot of enemies. On the other hand, Professor X has an unstoppable brain and can manipulate minds with ease. But what happens when Juggernaut's might meets the immovable object? Well, we can only speculate. Perhaps the Juggernaut charges at Professor X, only to be stopped dead in his tracks by a telepathic barrier. Or maybe Professor X tries to control the Juggernaut's mind, only for it to be met with irresistible strength. It is a battle for the ages, one that could last for hours, or even days. In the end, it all comes down to personal preference. Do you prefer brawn or brain, strength or strategy, the Juggernaut or Professor X? One thing is for sure though, it would be one heck of a fight. So let us just sit back and enjoy the spectacle, shall we? Did Cyttorak actually want Professor X to become Juggernaut? Ah, the intricate webs woven by the comic book universe. It turns out that Professor X was Cyttorak's first choice to become the Juggernaut, not his stepbrother Cain Marko. Imagine the chaos if Charles Xavier, the leader of the X-Men, had become the overwhelming force instead. Talk about a mind-boggling twist. In a strange turn of events, Cain Marko, a military deserter seething with anger, stumbled upon the Temple of Cyttorak. Little did he know that this temple held the legendary Gem of Cyttorak, an artifact capable of bestowing immense power. But here's the kicker. Professor X himself followed Cain and attempted to talk some sense into his stepbrother. Oh, the irony. In a moment of fate, Cain Marko touched the gem and transformed into the iconic Juggernaut we all know and fear. But what is this? According to New Excalibur issue number 15, Cyttorak reveals a dark secret to Juggernaut, one that has haunted him for years. It turns out, Cyttorak had originally desired Professor X to become his greatest pawn. Why would Cyttorak choose Professor X over Cain Marko, you ask? Well, the answer lies in Xavier's telepathic powers. As the most powerful telepath on Earth, Cyttorak believed Xavier would be the perfect vessel for his dark influence. After all, who better to spread fear and honor Cyttorak's name than the world's greatest telepath? But alas, fate had other plans. When both stepbrothers arrived at the temple, Cyttorak sensed something crucial. Professor X lacked the anger necessary to fulfill his desires. Cain Marko, on the other hand, had an abundance of anger, which made him the perfect candidate. And just like that, the course of their lives was forever altered. This shocking revelation sheds light on the deep-seated animosity between Professor X and Juggernaut. Cain Marko, always aware of being the second choice, developed a bitter hatred towards Xavier. And as for Professor X, he could not help but fear the reflection he saw in Juggernaut, a reminder of the person he could have become if circumstances had been slightly different. But fear not, dear viewers, for the tale takes an unexpected turn. Juggernaut has broken free from Cyttorak's control and chosen his own path. He is now an ally to the X-Men, and even Professor Professor X has accepted his presence on Krakoa. Sometimes, even in the most twisted narratives, redemption finds a way. So, next time you ponder the complex dynamics between Professor X and Juggernaut, remember the twisted path that led them to their current states. Fate and the whims of a dark god have interwoven their destinies in ways they could have never imagined. It is a reminder that even the most unexpected turns can shape the course of superhero history. In this realm of superheroes and villains, where powers and destinies collide, we find ourselves captivated by the intricate dance of fate and choice. The world is better off with Juggernaut as he is, a powerful force standing on the side of good. And as for Professor X, well, he can rest easy knowing that the mantle of the Juggernaut was never truly meant for him. A recent story arc explores the unique bond between Professor X's son and Juggernaut. Hold on to your capes, folks, because a surprising family bond is blossoming in the world of mutants. Legion of X issue number 3 takes us on a wild ride as it reveals the unique connection between Juggernaut and Legion, two of the darkest members of Charles Xavier's family. Prepare for a tale of redemption, growth, and unexpected alliances. Let us start with Juggernaut, the complex character with a roller coaster history. As the stepbrother of Charles Xavier, he has often found himself on the wrong side of the hero-villain divide. But do not be fooled. Juggernaut has shown glimpses of a softer side beneath that daunting exterior. Though he has veered off the heroic path on occasion, his recent endeavors to change for the better have not gone unnoticed. In a twist of fate, Juggernaut seeks support from Xavier himself, only to receive a surprising recommendation. Instead of sticking with the team, Xavier suggests that Juggernaut blend into the general population of Krakoa. But does he follow his stepbrother's advice? Of course not. Instead, he turns to Legion, Xavier's son, in a moment of vulnerability and reveals that he is technically Legion's uncle. Now, that is one way to strengthen family ties. Legion, who has been gradually becoming more emotionally stable, offers Juggernaut a much-needed motivational boost. He reminds his vulnerable uncle to be proud of staying true to himself and facing his trauma head-on, rather than bearing it away. The sentimental exchange between the two characters, coupled with their shared backgrounds, creates a unique bond that resonates with readers. What makes this pairing even more intriguing is the fact that both Juggernaut and Legion are navigating their own paths of personal growth. They are determined to overcome not only society's judgments, but also their own self-perceptions. It is a testament to their resilience, and a testament to the power of finding common ground. As Juggernaut and Legion become part of the same team, they have the opportunity to forge a deeper connection and trust in one another. With their contrasting power sets, they might just form a capable duo. But it is not just about their abilities. Their family connection adds an extra layer of complexity. They could serve as a unique counterbalance to Xavier, ensuring he does not go overboard or overstep his bounds as a leader. The idea of Juggernaut and Legion finding friendship and solace in one another is nothing short of brilliant. It gives these black sheep of Xavier's family tree the chance to grow, evolve, and support each other on their individual journeys. Their bond could become a major emotional backbone in the ever-unfolding story of Legion of X. So buckle up, fellow comic book enthusiasts, because the saga of Juggernaut and Legion is poised to captivate our hearts and minds. Family ties and unlikely alliances never fail to deliver the most captivating narratives, and this unique pairing is no exception. It is a testament to the power of redemption, growth, and the unbreakable bonds of kinship in the world of mutants. Marvelous verdict. The relationship between Juggernaut and Professor X is a complicated one that has evolved over the years. From their shared childhood to their epic battles and moments of understanding, their bond is rooted in both blood and shared experiences. While they may be on opposite sides of the ideological spectrum, their connection is undeniable, and their story is a testament to the complexity of human relationships. So, whether you are a die-hard X-Men fan or just curious about the dynamics between these two characters, exploring their story is a fascinating journey that is well worth taking. So let us continue to delve into the world of mutants and witness the intricate relationships that make it so compelling and captivating. What do you think about the dynamic relationship between these brothers? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, then do not forget to hit like and subscribe on your way out. Until next time, have a great day, folks.